So let's go ahead and compare the newer iPhone 16e with Google's flagship Pixel 9. So on a price point, the 16e is $600 fully unlocked from Apple. The Pixel 9 fully unlocked is $800. But in reality, you can get these devices for much cheaper. 16e, I've seen it on prepaid for $300 on Boost Mobile here in the US. While the Pixel 9 is an older device by a couple of months, and that one could be found for a way lower price on third-party markets and on prepaid. And I found one for $500 on Amazon, fully unlocked in almost near mint condition. The 16e is considered almost like a budget device in the sense that it is the lowest priced of the iPhone 16 family. It is not a budget device compared to its older predecessor, the iPhone SE series, that is completely scrapped. Now we just have an entry level in the 16 family. The Pixel 9, on the other hand, is a truly flagship device, and it is the standard Pixel, the newest Pixel in the lineup. So you're comparing almost like a budget device compared to a flagship phone from Google. So keep that in mind. But prices are very low for both of these. But on a pure price comparison, the Pixel 9, you can get it for cheaper, $500 versus $600 as of March 2025. The Pixel 9 is a heavier device, slightly bigger, but both have good build quality, glass front, glass back, and both have an aluminum frame, so they both feel very good in the hand without a case. The 16e is eSIM only in the US, while the Pixel 9 has the advantage of having nano SIM card slot and eSIM. Both are IP68 dust and water resistance, but the 16e is better because you can dunk it in water for 6 meters, while the Pixel 9, you can dunk it in water for 1.5 meters. Next, let's talk about the display. The 16e has a smaller 6.1 inch display versus the 6.3 inches on the Pixel 9, but they are different in the sense, they're really different when it comes to the technology. You have a 60 Hertz Retina display on the 16e, slower, older type of refresh rate, while the Pixel 9 has the advantage of being a 120 Hertz refresh rate screen, which is smoother, faster, and pretty much is the standard now on cheaper and flagship devices. So the 16e is using older, cheaper technology. Another thing about the Pixel 9's display is that it is always on display, unlike the 16e, which doesn't have that. That is only something that you find on iPhone Pros 13 and up. And also, speaking of the front of the device, you notice that the 16e has a notch at the top, while the Pixel 9 has a very small pinhole for the camera in the front. So the Pixel 9 wins in just having more screen real estate, and it just looks like it has all screen. The 16e's notch is very distracting when you compare these directly, and also that's not even a new technology from Apple. It doesn't even have the dynamic island, but the 16e looks a little bit outdated compared to the Pixel 9. Both of these in the software department offer several years of updates, so there's no issue there. And that's thanks in part to having the newest processor chipsets in each of these devices, the Apple A18 on the iPhone, the Google Tensor G4 on the Pixel 9. Both are top tier chipsets, very powerful. For example, the 16e has the same chipset as the 16 and the 16 Pro, which costs $1,000. So the Pixel 9 has the G4, the 4th gen Google Tensor chip, and it is pretty fast as well. You will do pretty much great performance on both of these devices when using all the apps that you download. You won't really see any slowdowns because these are the best chips available for the respective makers. Now, both of them start off at 128 gigs of internal storage, but they do differ in RAM. The iPhone 16e has 8 gigs of RAM, while the Pixel 9 has 12 gigs of RAM. They're not direct comparisons really, but because both of these have the amount of RAM that each of them have is perfect for their operating system, and both of them are future-proof. You can run multiple apps at the same time and in the background and switch between them with no problem. So I don't see any real difference between these, one having 8 gigs and one having 12 gigs. Both are very, very fast in performance. Next, we talk about the cameras. So looking at the back of the device for the main camera setup, the 16E only has a single 48 megapixel shooter. Pixel 9, on the other hand, has 2 cameras on the back, 50 megapixel main shooter and a 48 megapixel ultra wide. So in this case, the Pixel 9 easily outbeats the 16E in the camera department. Both take great pictures and videos, but you have that extra ultra wide camera on the Pixel 9. Both shoot in 4K, and also both of them shoot 4K with the selfie camera on the front. But looking at the device on the back, the Pixel 9 just has a better setup in general, and both of them take really outstanding pictures and videos. But the Pixel 9 Advantage Ultra Wide. Both have Bluetooth 5.3 and both have USB Type-C for charging. Now, when we talk about unlocking the device, very different here. You have Face ID on iPhone 16e. You have, for the Pixel 9, you have under the display fingerprint reader. Both are fast ways to unlock your device. They're just accessed differently. And now when we come to battery life, we have quite an interesting comparison because both of these have all-day battery life. That's pretty much all you could ask for in a phone. Both of these do very well. 16E boasts 26 hours of video playback. Apple says it is the best battery life of any 6.1-inch iPhone, while the Pixel 9 has a 4700 milliamp battery, and that pretty much says it all. It just has a big beefy battery and it will last all day. As for charging, the 16E charges also has Qi wireless charging. Both of these devices charge 50% in 30 minutes, but you have more charging options on the Pixel 9. 27-watt wired charging, 15-watt wireless charging with the Pixel Stand, 12 wireless charging with Qi. With a Qi charger, it has reverse wireless charging. You have a lot more charging options on the Pixel 9. There's no MagSafe in the 16E. That is notably missing. So after going all over the place with the specs, I'm going to break it down into 2 areas here, comparing the device on the outside. When you look at it, using it in the street, you quickly notice that the Pixel 9 has better hardware. The front of the device has more screen with the pinhole camera, unlike the uglier notch on the 16E. You have an always-on faster refresh rate screen on the Pixel 9 versus the 60 Hertz on the 16E, and it doesn't have always-on display. It is just a better general front of the device for the Pixel 9. And you flip the devices over on the back, the 16E looks outdated with that single camera, looks like the iPhone XR from so many years ago, while the Pixel 9 has the 2 cameras in the back, and it just looks like a powerhouse. It looks more premium, and obviously it just has more cameras. And those cameras actually are, they just produce an ultra wide camera. That's an extra thing that the 16E doesn't have. And then when we talk about internally, both of these are very similar. The 16E is just as powerful as a $1,000 iPhone. It's the newest chipset, has the most RAM of any iPhone as well, tied with the 16 family. Pixel 9 is matching blow for blow on the 16E when it comes to power. Has the newest G4 processor, 12 gigs of RAM, which is a very nice amount of RAM for Android phones in general. So both of these phones are safe to say they will run any app out there for any person on a daily basis, be it texting, social media, gaming, browsing, watching YouTube, watching Netflix, browsing maps, ordering an Uber, doing deliveries with Uber, listening to music. You could do all of those apps on either of these devices on their respective marketplaces. So on a day-to-day basis, there's no real difference here. Both of these have USB Type-C at the bottom, so it's a tie there. When it comes down to pricing, they're very similar. If you were to get the Pixel 9 used or in near mint condition, $600 is the cheapest price for an entry-level 16 iPhone. And in this case, you are sacrificing stuff though. on the outside, but internally, both of these devices are very similar. I think that's what's most important. I think most people could survive with a single camera on the back. Pixel 9 will come in handy with the ultra-wide camera if you are in a specific, in a specific job. Like for example, if you're a realtor, you need to take a picture of an entire house or room or whatever, you have that option there. But everything else, they seem to be very powerful, and both of them are very good. I think I'm going to have to give the edge here to the Pixel 9 in general because it's cheaper, it has the extra ultra-wide camera, the screen in the front, you get more real estate, and you have a lot of charging options. And that 60 hertz refresh rate is very outdated on the 16E. The Pixel 9 has a very fast refresh rate and always on display, and not to mention that it has the nano SIM card slot as well. You don't have that flexibility with eSIM only on the 16E. So in short, I think that the better device here, if you don't care about the ecosystem, is going to be the Pixel 9.